All right, can you hear me? Great. Hi, I'm Robin Alter. I'm from Ultrahaptics. What we do is we use ultrasound to let you feel objects, textures in space. You don't have to wear anything, you don't hold anything. We use ultrasound to project sound waves against your hand or other parts of your body so that you feel textures and shapes. Oh, there we go. So I'm sure you guys are all familiar with VR and you've done different things. You've reached out and you've tried to touch, say, a deer, or tried to interact with an element in there. And then often it's very unsatisfying and very jarring to put your hand through and for nothing to be there. And so on the basic level, just being able to have a validation that there's an object there when you reach out, but also that, to actually feel the texture of it and shape is an incredible addition to the experience. Yeah, so we are currently working to work with arcades, with VR companies. A lot of the stuff we've been doing recently has been in location-based live events and amusement parks, just for these kinds of bringing presence to it, or just adding to, hey, I'm sitting online waiting to get into the VR experience, I would like to be engaged as well. And so a lot of our technology is being used in those scenarios. So how it works is that we use this array of ultrasound speakers. And right now, these are pretty much commodities. They're in the back of your car, in the bumper, when you back up and it goes beep, beep, beep. Those are ultrasound speakers. And so what we do is we fire we use these array of speakers. We run it with our software, and we fire these speakers at different points, at different times, to basically jar your skin, to move it so that the nerves vibrate, just as if you were touching something. When you touch something, your nerves in your hand are picking up a vibration. Your brain is translating that into, oh, that's wood or that's skin. And we're doing a very similar thing. We are vibrating your hand or your nerves at a similar frequency. And the way we get shapes is that we draw that point, that haptic point, or multiple haptic points in air at 14,000 frames per second, and then you start to feel the shape of it. So, yeah, this is just me talking about 3D shapes. And so there's some really, I know it sounds a bit like magic and, how can this be real? But if you come by the booth, I'll definitely show you at least being able to pick up 3D objects like spheres and cubes. We spent the last 3 years integrating this technology across industries. So we have implementations in automotive. If you get a high-end car in the next couple years, integrated into the dashboards will be Ultrahaptics, so that as you're driving, you reach out and you can feel the knobs and the buttons of the AC or the radio and turn them, and the car reacts. So you don't have to take your eyes off the road. And so the driving value proposition in that scenario is safety. Other examples have been in consumer electronics, just not having to look for the remote, being able to control the stereo or speakers from a distance. Stoves, ovens, so that if your hands are dirty, or potentially there's some new implementations in hospitals where they're worried about touching interfaces like elevators because you can spread a lot of diseases. This is an example of some of the automotive stuff that we've done. We have a deal with Harman and Bosch. Both are big in the automotive space, and we're also working directly with automotive. So this was the first industry to really adopt us and bring us into their vehicles, and now it's coming out. We're also doing a lot in casino games. So this year, by the time you go into any casino worldwide, you will be able to go to a 3D slot machine and objects popping off, and you can grab them, and there'll be sparkles, and you can put your hand underneath, and there'll be coins falling in your hand, so you actually think that you're getting rich when you're not. So again, yeah, if you come by the booth, I'm happy to give you a quick demo. We have multiple things to show, but I'm basically running a VR demo to make it simple, to let you pick up objects and stack them and feel the shape and textures. We have also software that does sensation editor, which allows you to pick from a library of sensations and export that into Unity, and with our APIs or SDKs or Unity plugin, so that you can create your own sensations if you don't have programming knowledge. And if you do have programming knowledge, we have a new software designer or sensation designer coming out to let you edit basically sound waves to give different sort of sensations. And some of the things that we are working on is, as I said, with arcades, with amusement parks, and some of the interesting games is being able to do not just touching shapes and textures, but also being able to fire. You know, I was in a meeting with an amusement park guy, and they're like, "Do you think you can make it feel like throwing a fireball?" And I said, "Of course, because no one's ever done it. We can create that sensation." So we've done a lot of sort of shooting electricity and magic fights. Being able to play sim games or board games. And so these are the kinds of things that are in development. And we're working actively with arcade and location-based customers to put very large arrays of these ultrasound speakers into the wall so that as you walk around and as you see different objects, you can reach out and touch them. One of the cool examples is that this is not a replacement of other haptics. I think there's going to be a need for lots of different types of haptics, right? This is not going to be something that's going to let you feel a bunch of bullets or the recoil of a gun. But if you're in, say, John Wick and you're firing at people and you want to just validate there's a wall in front of you, to reach out to know that there's a wall and you feel safe, it's a comforting kind of thing and just adds to the gameplay. So why I'm here in some ways just to talk to other folks about getting into the arcades and see what you're doing and see if there's ways to work. And we're also hiring. We're a British-based company. We have about 60 people in Bristol. We've just opened up an office here in Palo Alto, and we are growing. So we are looking for all different types. A lot of developers is really what we want to do now, who will have access to all the major platforms. And I want to just create a lot of cool new use cases to show. One of the ones that we did recently is a developer in Netherlands did a tilt brush paint job. And so they were using different textures and painting with different type of materials. And as you move your hand through the art, you could feel the different the different textures and sensations attached with each one, which is quite a cool kind of thing. So I'll leave it to your imaginations to come up with different ways to work. But we're excited to reach out and to talk to more folks. And that's about it. Please, my information's here, and I'm happy to talk offline or afterwards. Thank you.